Hello, good morning. Welcome to this webinar. We are starting now. There are still people coming in, but let's be punctual. Thank you very much for registering to this webinar. I am Alejandro Guinea. I am the president of EUROGI. I will start with a brief introduction of what is EUROGI, and then I will give the floor to the speakers. Okay, what is EUROGI? EUROGI is the European umbrella organization for geographic information. This year we have 30 years from the foundation of the association. We are different kind of members, mainly association, private companies, and universities. So we have this cross-cutting vision of the geoinformation sector, which is part of our added value. Our mission is to promote the widespread creation, effective use, and maintenance of geospatial information and technologies in Europe, because we really think that location-based information and technologies serve as a core enablers for the European digital society. We have three main actions within the organization where we try to put everything aligned. One is strengthening the networking and policy advocacy. The second one is the project-centric enhancement. Through data and technological advancement, we try to put together the companies so they participate in consortiums and projects together. And we have a specific line regarding educational outreach and skills development, because as we see in our sector, that is a key issue right now. Some of the benefits of being an EUROGI member is networking platform. You can link, you need to join with other organizations. We want to be next to the decision makers, anticipating instead of waiting. We do projects for and with our members, and we try to spread and to share the showcases of our members. And we are developing an advanced and specialized training delivered by the own members. So we think it's a very specialized and very added value training. I'm finishing now. I would like to say about why we use geographic information. When I say tourism or control room or emergency or urban planning, epidemic, pandemic, weather, risk, traffic, there is always a map behind it. So the correct use of maps has a significant impact across a wide range of disciplines, and that's why within EUROGI we try to improve and to push the geospatial technologies. And that's all from my side. I give the floor to Bruce McCormack. So you can start, Bruce, whenever you want. Thank you very much.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and we see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. Where's it gone? Let me share again. Sharing, okay. I will just open it. Okay. Bruce McCormack, that's my name. I'm the Vice President of EUROGI, and I will be giving this presentation, Optimizing Facility Location and Trade Areas or Catchment Identification. And I'm doing it for a company which I manage called GeoScope Europe. And this is our team. That's me on the top left, and that's the one of the technical kind of people on the top right, and then the row at the bottom are also all technical people with different specialities. And I live in Ireland, so I'm based in Ireland. Johan Fenske, which is top right, he's based in Belfast in the United Kingdom. The three bottom ones on the left, they're based in South Africa, and the bottom one on the right is based in Holland. So we've got a diverse country-based team that we do this kind of work with. Past clients that we've had, you can see them there. This is just a sample. There's more. McDonald's, Levi Strauss, the jeans company, Bob down at the bottom, that's a funeral homes company, and then a number of car companies, Mercedes, Ford, Volvo, I don't know, Iveco, and a number of others as well. And then in the middle line on the right, it's got agriculture, land reform and rural affairs. That's a job we did for the department in South Africa that deals with planning matters, rural development, all that kind of stuff. So it's quite a range. Now I've circled in red the Volvo and the RDATF. Those are the circled in red because those are the two that I will actually mention, not any of the other ones. So we've got a huge range of past clients that have picked up on our services, and we've done work for them. So the types of analyses which we do, the first one we call greenfields. It's the identification of optimum locations and associated trade areas or catchments for facilities, not, and this is the important point, not taking into account the locations of similar or competing facilities. So that's like a greenfield sitting there, and we just, client comes in and says, you know, I'm a pharmacy, where's the best location in this part of the country? And we would just do a first run through on a greenfields type analysis, and it would just pick out where the best locations are for the pharmacy. The other kind, which is a more sophisticated kind, is we call brownfields. And this is the identification of optimum locations and associated trade areas or catchments, taking into account similar or competing facilities. So this is more like the real world, because if a client comes in and says, oh, we want to establish a new McDonald's or car dealership or whatever it is, then we absolutely have to take into account in the real world of the competing or similar facilities. Now, right at the bottom there, I mentioned what we mean by facilities. It could be any type of retail outlet. It could be an industrial plant. It could be an office complex. It could be a public facility like school. We've done work on identification of school locations, for example. Or it could be whatever. A facility is just, in English anyway, a generic term for a broad category of things. So these are the two fundamental types that we do. The first one off is the greenfields, which is a simplification, as it were, and the second one is the brownfields. Now, the factors that we can take into account, this is really quite important. The definition of the study area. So the client would say, I'm interested in a particular county or city or whatever it is. We can take into account the transport network, including, in the case of the roads, the direction of roads. You know, some are one-way, some are two-way kind of roads. We could location of train stations, bus stations. So we take into account the transport network. We can also set a minimum population required to ensure profitability or sustainability for this facility. We can also do the maximum customer user travel time, the maximum customer user travel distance, and we can also put a limit on the maximum capacity of a facility Now, that wouldn't really apply in the case of, say, a retail outlet, because the more they get, the better. But other facilities like a hospital or a school or whatever have a maximum capacity, so we can put in a limit the capacity and see what happens there. We can also, a client might say, I want to be a location which maximizes my opportunities, but it must be, and we've had this, for example, must be visible from a motorway, because we want to put our big, signs, logos and all that there. And so we can structure the analysis so that we can locate it. For example, I'm just giving one example, near a motorway, or it could be within a certain distance of a train station, or etc., etc. The location of the competitors, I've already mentioned that. We do it in a brownfields analysis. We can also put into the different types of modes of travel. Motorcar tends to be the most popular one, but also walking, and you'll hear in a practical example I give just now of with drug addicts, for example, where walking is the main mode to get to a drug treatment facility. We can do bus, train, cycle, scooter. The target customer type, where we can also focus in on a particular segment of the population, by life cycle, by income group, by household structure, etc. And then, of course, obviously, we have to have as a very base layer the population or household distribution across the target area. We can, in fact, include some combinations of the above, which actually leads to the fact that there can be multiple, and you'll see just now, multiple scenarios that we have to deal with. A typical example of the process that we follow is we have discussions with the client to understand their business and their activities. For one of the examples that I'll give just now, which is the drug and alcohol treatment facility work that we did. I spent, I think at least 4 hours in intensive discussion with the treatment facility people to understand the drugs, inverted commas, market, and how it works and all the rest of it. And out of those discussions, we draft a set of scenarios to be modeled. We discuss those scenarios with the client, we fine tune them, blah, blah, blah. And then we run the agreed scenarios, and then we discuss the preliminary crude outlier results from the analysis with the client. We then go back and make further adjustments. They might have, say, they want to change the amount of travel time that is a maximum travel time for their facility. Well, that's okay. We can do that. We rerun the scenarios, discuss the results, produce a draft report, run the draft report through with the client, and then have a final report. And from our experience, that little yellow smiling face is the result of the kind of work that we do. Now, I'm just giving you, as I mentioned earlier, I'll give you a Volvo example and then another one, the drugs and alcohol treatment. The Volvo one, we did work. Volvo came to us and said, essentially, where should we open new branches, or dealerships maybe is a better word, new branches? Where should we close existing ones? Where should we merge branches across the whole of South Africa? So that was quite a big job. We spent quite a lot of time with Volvo talking about the levels of dealerships that they have, the catchments of their existing purchases of vehicles, what kind of vehicles, etc., etc., etc. So there was a lot of preliminary work with Volvo. This was quite a big job. So I've just picked two examples. The one on the left there you see is Johannesburg, Pretoria metropolitan area, which is about 9 million people. And essentially what we did for them, for Volvo, is the Volvo had they had 5 levels of dealership, and they wanted to know where would these different levels be, from the big ones, which was a kind of whole metro level dealership, down to the more local kind of dealerships, much smaller little things. And each of these has a different catchment kind of criteria that we worked on for them. So this map here on the bottom left, it's a very crude little map, but it shows the location of where these different types of dealership could be located. Now, what you don't see, because there's quite a few layers here, is the catchments for the individual levels of dealership across the area. On the right-hand side, this is the whole province. We looked at KwaZulu-Natal, which has got 11 something million people. And it really, what came down is the Volvo dealerships would only basically really come in only 2 areas. That's the Durban metropolitan area and the Pietermaritzburg area, which is about 600,000 people, the Pietermaritzburg one. So that's an example. All the rest is blank because there's no possibility of any dealerships there. The next one, which I'm going to show you quickly, is the Drugs and Alcohol Task Force. We did 28, I think it was, different scenarios for them. And what you see on the left is just one of the scenarios. Just to give you a feeling, this is, there's no capacity for the drugs treatment facilities. People travel by car only. There's no travel time limit. The potential drug users were in this particular, what you see their image was for potential drug users in the 12 to 18-year-old group. And what comes out of the analysis that we did is we said we want to see the top 4 locations in order of priority. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are the catchments associated with the 4. Just to change the scale completely, also for the drugs people, we gave a limit of 50 clients. I call them drug addicts. They didn't like that. Clients, 50 clients per day. And this was walking only in a particular town. Now, so that's pretty much all I have to say. And I'd be happy to deal with any questions. And if anybody would like to follow up with me or us to see what we could do maybe for them, there are my contact details. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Next speaker is Miika Kostamo from GeoForum Finland with the presentation of Location Innovation Hub. Miika, can you share your screen? And the floor is yours. We can see it. We can see you.
Okay.
And we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, great. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to present this topic, Location Innovation Hub, which is one of the European digital innovation hubs. And we as GeoForum are one of the project partners, and also we have working task in the project itself. But this is the first time to present it for the EUROGI audience, so I'm very happy about this opportunity. So what are the European Digital Innovation Hubs? These are European innovation projects and hubs, which are in total over 140 of those around Europe. The Digital Innovation Hub is the only one focusing on location data. And the purpose of these EDI projects around Europe is to give technical expertise, possibilities for testing, and also new skills and services, and also funding advices, especially for SMEs and for public organizations. The core idea behind them is to advance the digital skills and know-how in Europe, and with the focus of SMEs and public authorities. So the Location Innovation Hub is the center of excellence for location information, meaning the topics that Bruce just talked about, how to get there, where to position your business, and also on what kind of analytics you can do on that. And we have quite many topics on that. But for presenting that, I have a short video to show for you.
We cannot hear it. I don't know if we should.
There's no sound on the video.
Okay.
So that was a short video, the same thing here. So the Location Innovation Hub is about the location intelligence, location analytics, geospatial topics, precise positioning, and many other topics as well. So the project itself offers consultation, training, testing infrastructure, meaning different data sets that you can try your tools or your programs or upcoming solutions. There are different tools existing in the project and also funding guidance for location technology. This means that we are ourselves not sharing money or giving biddings out, but we are sharing contacts and we're sharing information where to get money, where to get financing, and what kind of, for example, EU programs exist for the topics or the solutions somebody must have. All the services are free for the users, so it means that the SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, and public sector organizations within EU can access all the services free of charge. The services are co-founded by the European Union, Business Finland in Finland, and the project partners who are participating in the program. As it was already shown on the video, there's 4 focus areas for the project: the built environment, meaning cities, anything that is built; bioeconomy, so business out of the environment; health and well-being, meaning, for example, locations of health services, what kind of environments people are living in, how cities should be developed to accommodate more well-being for the citizens, and all these kind of topics. And then we have also transportation and logistics, which is a big user for the location data in Europe. The whole thing is coordinated by the Finnish Geospatial Research Institute, which is part of the National Land Survey, and it's also one of the advanced geospatial research institutes in Europe at the moment. And some of the key technology sectors, which are the advanced part, are the artificial intelligence, machine learning, high-performance computing, meaning the big computers. For example, on the picture, we have the fastest computer in Europe called LUMI. It's operated by the CSC, which is one of the project partners as well. And then we have also as a topic the cybersecurity, which is a growing concern, at least in Finland at the moment, because for many years it was open data, and now people are trying to think about the security aspects of geospatial data as well. The actual services and data are provided by the project partners. There are in total 38 of those, including universities, private companies. CSC was the operator of the LUMI computer, Finnish Geotechnical Institute, Weather Institute, Innovation Fund, and different kind of operators. And we as a GeoForum are one of those. We are the geospatial collaboration network in Finland. So we have about 50 members within our organization. And in this project, we are one of the project partners as well, and helping the others to do things in the project. And then we have on the bottom of all of these partners, we have also the European core data providers. So we have, for example, data from Sweden, Estonia, Spain involved in the project. This means that if somebody wants to try something on larger national scale data sets, we have access to those as well. What the location innovation offering to SMEs and public organizations is actually, it's networks. So it means we are network organization ourselves as well, but we are networked with a lot of other organizations. So that means we can offer contacts and points of interest for those who are interested in a certain topic or certain specific type of AI, for example. So we have test environments and we have technical and business consultancy. This means that we can guide somebody on finding right solutions, or we can, for example, help them to find the right contact for the funding. We can also borrow researchers. This means that some of the advanced universities and geospatial research institute, for example, they have a researchers, PhD researchers on specific topics. And for those, we can offer contacts. And in some cases, they're also able to check the data and what kind of things can be developed. Then there are data spaces, co-creation spaces. So for example, our own space can be used for that purposes in Helsinki. We have a lot of trainings and there's also service catalogs. So there's a lot of information on the project website as well. Our activities as GeoForum, we're mostly involved in three things: networking, meaning that a lot of events, a lot of event organizing. We organize our own events, some pictures on the right side. We organized, for example, this year in March, a hackathon about biodiversity of forests. We got several contenders for that, and one of them is actually now running a business on the topic as well. We also organize our own GeoForum Summit, which had this year a bit over 900 participants. So that's also a great networking opportunity. And then we do a lot of communication like this presentation today. What the project has achieved so far, we have served in the last 18 months, or the first 18 months of the project, a bit over 160 organizations. We have had over 2,000 participants in the events. There are now 36 test environments with these data sets from city environments, from robots, from autonomous machines, mapping, LiDARs, tracking people movement, a lot of different topics. And then we have 38 partners in the organization, meaning that we have added some of the associated partners during the project as well. For each customer, this has meant that they have their own sign-up process. They send us our contacts, we map the needs, then we give the coaching, training, whatever needed for the topic, and then developing and testing, and also final evaluation, which is one of the criteria that the EU also requires from the project. There are some client examples here. For example, the Finnish Transport Agency, they're developing a geospatial-based digital twin of the transport networks, and they used some of the advanced researchers for that topic to actually gain know-how on the specific topics and what level of digital twins is now actually possible and what is coming next. We have the Nature Conservation Organization enhancing their geospatial analytical skills, meaning that they're able to analyze the data that we have available from the environment and also to find out the areas which are more sensitive for their own conservation purposes. City of Turku used training from us. They had several training sessions where they learned new skills on the existing software they already had, but they were more using the basic tools, and through this training they get know-how on the more advanced tools. And then we have one SME or startup, so to say, which was specialized in weather forecast and is trying to do that on precise level. So for them, they gain know-how on precise weather forecasting and what kind of data sources are available, and also on how to do analytics on those topics. And then on top of that, there's a lot of guides and training available. These are some of the pictures of the guidelines already published on the website of the project: geospatial data integration, what kind of global and national location data is existing, and also API business manuals, meaning a manual to utilize some of these geospatial APIs currently accessible openly. But of course, you need to know how to connect to those and how to connect those to your own services. Then I have several links there to events, learning materials, open funding opportunities, and also the location and AI webinar series that is now starting. And that's actually one of the last points, that next year will be during Slush, which is the biggest Nordic startup event. It collects several thousands of people in Helsinki in less than a month. And one of the side events of that is AI and bioeconomy topic from the location intelligence perspective. And that's a free event to attend. So if somebody's interested, just Google that and you can get the open link to that event. So the on-site is in Helsinki, but they will stream it online free of charge for everybody who's interested. And that will actually start a series of location and AI webinars, which will be listed soon on the project website as well. But if you're interested to hear more about it or any questions, please contact me, or you can contact anybody from the Location Innovation project staff via the contacts. And I will also share this presentation. So who was watching and didn't get was not fast enough to take a print screen on the contacts, then I will share them afterwards as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miika. I have a couple of, one question for you, but I will do it later in the general discussion. Thank you very much again. Next speaker is Dara Keogh from GeoDirectory, the world-class addressing system with attribute data. Dara,
hello,
please.
Can you see and hear me?
I can see you and hear you, not your screen yet.
I'm just going to try to do that now in a sec. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, I'm ready to go. I can't see you guys, so I'll just launch in if that's okay.
Yes, perfect.
Go. Thank you. So welcome this afternoon to this presentation. You've got some very interesting presentations already. I'm going to give a geodirectory view of the world on how we see things and how we operate. So we talk about the data journey, and the data journey, if you like, it's the path an organization uses to proceed from its data collection all the way through to its visualization, and then using that data, which is crucial for us for decision making. And as part of that, there's a few key elements, which is, you need to ensure high data quality. It needs to be reliable. It needs to be secure. You need to look at the provenance or the history of the data. And that's what we talk about when we talk about unauthorized access. When you're involved in third-party data into your data set and into your decision making, you need to have a track and a trail and an understanding of how that all comes together and works, so that you can have confidence in the results. So what we do is we look at our customer base and we ask them, what do you use data for, and what are the key tasks you need to complete with data? And this screen shows you that the number one task is really planning and strategic making decision at 86%. Then really we have things like data maintenance, and then we have customer acquisition or efficiencies, if you as part of that as well. So it's sort of three areas of interest, but the key area is, how can I use data to help me make better decisions for my organization? So it's strategic. So in GeoDirectory, we started off at the core of what we do is an address, its location. So we build from the micro level up. We build from a single address in an apartment, if you like, up through from there. But what we've discovered while working with our clients and our customers is that that's just not enough anymore. That in a world where there's a load of different type of tools you can use, in a world where there is a lot of data, it's how do you bring an extra level of understanding for a building or a space. So what we've done is we've introduced things like, and this is a synopsis of some of the things we've introduced. We've introduced building height. So that's both the height of the building from ground to ceiling and the height above sea level. We then looked at what are the uses within the building. So what's the building used for? Who's there? Not necessarily who's there, but what uses are put in there. Is it residential? Is it commercial? Is it a mix of both? If it is commercial, what type of function do those businesses do? Is it retail? Is it is it some sort of service that's provided? Is it a manufacturing unit? And so this then leads to we classify these using NAICS codes, and I think I hope you saw the presentation Bruce made, and one of the examples he gave was set in Ireland, and that his company used the NACE codes to be able to do these classifications. So, you know, we have planners looking at an area. They want to know how many schools, how many creches, how many gyms, how many whatever. It's all in GeoDirectory. Okay. We then also went on to get the number of floors. Emergency services need to know the number of floors, not just the height of the building. We use in Ireland, there's a thing called the BER rating, which essentially is the level of efficiency of a home or a building in its consumption of electricity. And so we use that to look at an area and rate the area either high, low, medium. And we use medium, mode, median. So a whole lot of different statistical tools to generate the kind of insights that make it useful. We have the rebuild costs of a building. So if a residential premises is destroyed, how much will it cost to rebuild? That helps companies then look at, in particularly the insurance industry, in terms of premiums. We have the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. We have the square footage. We have the sale price of that building, when it's sold. We can track it over time. We have the building age. You know, the age of a building has a significant impact on the type of material it was built with, and therefore how long it's going to last, its duration. We also have things like landslide risk, which was becoming obviously more prevalent with the changing climate. We have radon gas, which is a health issue, roof type, solar, soil type, will it sink, flood risks. So there's three different types of flood risks that I'm sure you're all very familiar with. We were in the process of bringing them in, and then crime stats. We also have some sort of social economic indicator of an area. So what we're trying to do is we've gone away from just looking at an address and a location to looking at the environment in which this building exists, and both historically, current, and predictive. So it's no longer good enough to say this is the address and this is where it is. That's the basic. That's your what we call hygiene stuff now. That's what you do to start. This is what you do to bring information and data that can make decision making more richer and more trustworthy. So let me give you an example, and it's a less sophisticated example than the ones Bruce gave, but I think it helps to demonstrate, and it's very small and hopefully easy to understand way, how this kind of data can be used. And this is a very basic example though. So imagine there's a business. We have to use imagine here because our clients tend to be quite secretive about how they use the data, because it is used in a strategic way, and they don't want to share that with the whole world, basically, particularly when they're in the commercial sector. And this gives them a unique advantage, the way they use the data. So imagine there is a town in Ireland called Naas, and this company it's a food distribution company. I'll go through some of the customer or some of the industries we work in at the end, just to give you a sort of a sample of it. And they want to expand their network in Naas. They're already there, but they want to see how they can do better. So the first thing we would do with that kind of client is take their customer list and match it into our data. So we do all of this, this matching processing as well. It's just part of what we do. It's kind of, as I said, it's sort of an essential service to be able to deliver this extra added value stuff. So we take it and we match it to our product, which is called GeoSmart Data. And that allows us to assign the location codes to each of the points that the customer has in their database. Then it could be something like this. This is just an example. This is only going to be a small sheet. It's an Excel. Excel is still a very dominant tool that's used by businesses. We then map it out. So this is a whole lot of blue dots on an area called Naas, which, it's fine as far as it goes, but they want to know what's the potential. So we look at what are the key, what we call Naas codes that they're currently using, and where would they like to go. And so then we come up with a list for them, and then we map it out. So you can see there for them, what they're looking at here is what is the potential for us to optimize our organization. We have this van delivering into 5 points. We could have it delivering into 25 points for no extra cost. So it's about optimizing their value. It's about optimizing the efficiency. It's very good for naturally, this is an extremely good process for the environment because it means less trucks, less often. Okay, so that is a kind of an example really of how it's used. just to say a little bit about GeoDirectory, because I'm leaving this till the end, and I know this is I'm doing quite a short presentation. So GeoDirectory is a public sector trading company. What that means is that we have access to things like the National Postal Service called Unpost and the National Mapping Service called Táil, who help us put the core base data together. But it also means that if we don't match what the market needs, we go out of business. We have to make a profit. Okay. We manage 2.3 million address points. It's updated daily, so it's a continuous process of updating. It's not just a once in a while, and with monthly releases to our customers. If you'd like to have a look at what our data looks like in action, we have developed an app. It's available on Google and Apple. It's a free app, nothing on it, just to show you how we integrate data. And if you like, challenge yourselves about how we can use data. It's called GeoFind It. And in there, you'll see things like we integrated into live timetables for buses, trains, Lewis's, bike parking. We then show you where you can put your EV car, where you can recycle your products, as well as where's your nearest cafe. If you have kids, where do you want to bring them? Where's the nearest playground? Where's the nearest park? Where's the nearest car park? Okay, so all of that kind of stuff is all, we just share that for free because we see that as a basic, just basic stuff. For us, it's the starting point. Okay, to give you an example of the industries that we work with or the markets that we work in the insurance, bank, health, utilities, retail, logistics, planning, broadband, ISOs, internet service providers. So if you're using Google Maps, Apple Maps, or Bing Maps, you're using GeoDirectory. Telcos, government department, all the municipalities. So what we say in GeoDirectory is basically, if you turn on a tap, switch on a light, use a phone, go on the internet, switch on your TV, all of those companies use GeoDirectory. So we are in a very unusual position in that everybody in Ireland, without ever knowing who we are, touches off our data because all of these companies use it to deliver their services. So I'm going to end up with a little sales pitch saying, look, we're available for advising and consulting elsewhere in Europe if you see a benefit in that. So listen, very short presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dara. Very interesting. And I like that we don't talk about generally GI, but we are talking about the daily uses for anybody without even knowing. Perfect. Okay, now it's time for a general discussion. Somebody who is attending wants to say anything? Something? Okay. I have just one question for Miika. If I understood you well, you said that any SME of Europe, they can ask for free consultancy services. Is that true?
Yes, and also public authorities, so government offices and whatever organization that is on the public domain.
Okay. Very interesting. I think it can be a game changer if you are stuck in some problem and you can go to this kind of institutions or initiatives.
And it's also the same rule applies to all the European digital innovation hubs. So they're basic. There's a lot of more topics as well. So a lot of them are related to artificial intelligence, machine learning. We, for example, collaborate in Finland with the Finnish AI region, which is focused on SMEs, AI skills and machine learning skills. So if somebody asks from us, which are interested in location data, if they ask about general text analytics or how to use ChatGPT or some of these new technologies, then we will usually guide them to that because they have the experts on the text material, text analytics and so on. And we are more focused on the location.
Okay, thank you. Any other question?
Yes, from me, Miika. Where can we find out where the details are of the location hubs in the various countries across Europe? Is there a particular website or something?
The Location Innovation Hub is based in Finland, but it serves all the countries in EU region. And then if you're looking for the other digital innovation hubs, they have a networking website. I can add it to the chat. It's just need to Google it fast.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you for the speakers for the very interesting presentations and for the attendance. We hope to see you in the next webinars that we are organizing. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sorry, Alessandro, just one quick one. This recording of this webinar will be available on the EUROGI website.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.